Welcome back everyone, Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the posts, giving you my own opinion, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Originally posted to r/AmITheAsshole, would I be the asshole public? Am I the asshole for eating my daughter's food? I, 36 female, have a daughter, 15 female, Fiona, and am currently pregnant. Fiona has struggled with an eating disorder for about 2 years now, but my husband and I only learned about it a couple of months ago, and we've been trying to get her to recover and eat again. We have started stocking up on foods Fiona will eat just to get her to eat anything. She really likes Oreos, specifically the birthday ones, so we had a couple packages stocked in the pantry. Unfortunately, while she was at school, I began craving Oreos really badly because of the baby. I thought I would just open one pack and have a couple. But unfortunately, it led to me eating both packages because the craving was too strong. Fiona came home and saw that I had eaten them and went ballistic on me. She called me awful for eating her Oreos and said that she had nothing to eat now. The Oreos were the only thing left that she liked eating, and locked herself in her room. I presume to exercise because she does that under stress. My husband came home and chewed me out when he found out. He said that I'm fucking up both kids because I ate all Fiona's Oreos and I shouldn't be eating 2 full packages of Oreos while pregnant because he thinks it'll harm the baby. My husband just doesn't understand pregnancy cravings though. It's also my house, so I feel like food should be fair game. He ended up taking her to get her favorite food for dinner and more Oreos while I sat at home and I just had leftovers. I feel bad because now Fiona's angry and husband's pissed at me. Am I the asshole? OP also has a comment that I would like to point my attention towards real quick. My cravings are horrible though, and drive me up the wall if I don't satisfy them. Also, I was specifically craving Oreos and there were already some there. I'm tired of having to avoid eating certain foods and spending more money just for Fiona. Her dad would have bought her more anyway, and we're trying to get her to open her diet to more variety. Why can't I treat myself for once? There is a massive difference between treating yourself once and eating 2 full packages that are for your child who has an eating disorder. Like, I get and understand that pregnancy cravings can be horrible. I've heard some pretty weird horror stories about what kind of cravings end up happening and what kind of stuff gets thrown together as a kitchen sink sandwich that has pickles, peanut butter, banana, honey, chocolate, and jalapenos. God knows the body will do some crazy shit to meet its cravings. But a lot of this problem comes from the fact that your daughter has an eating disorder. The Oreos are specifically to help her with that eating disorder. You sat down and you ate 2 full packages of Oreos that were meant for her, made no effort to replace them, and instead relied entirely on your husband to restock the Oreos for your daughter. OP also talks like it's some kind of massive chore for them to try and accommodate their child who has an eating disorder. With Oreos. Oreos. The line, "I'm tired of having to avoid eating certain foods and spending more money just for Fiona. Her dad would have bought her more anyway," just really bothers me. Tinfoil Hat Theory says that OP might actually be responsible for the daughter's unhealthy relationship with food. Originally posted to r/relationship advice. My, 29 male, girlfriend, 30 female, has been lying to me about our entire relationship. How do I move on after all these lies? My girlfriend, Sarah, and I have been together for a little over a year. I recently just moved to Houston, but I'm originally from North Carolina, and I got a job in Houston. I was nervous moving, but luckily I had my cousin, Nathan, there who was living with his wife, Sarah. Huh? My girlfriend, Sarah, and I have been together for a little over a year. Originally from North Carolina, got a job in Houston, nervous moving, but luckily I had my cousin, Nathan, who was living with his wife, Sarah. Oh boy, we are in for it. They helped with my apartment search and I ended up choosing the same apartment they stay at. Nathan works the night shift and Sarah and I started spending the majority of the evening together. I started falling for her because we just clicked. I don't know how to explain it. I started noticing the tension and planned on pulling away. But she asked me if I was attracted to her. I told her, out of respect for Nathan, I won't answer that. Then, she told me she was attracted to me. I told her, look, if this is just attraction and wanting to get your rocks off, I don't want anything to do with it because it's not fair to Nathan or their marriage. But she told me it was more than that. Afterwards, I confessed my love and she said it was mutual. After that, we talked about her leaving Nathan for me. As much as it hurts, we knew everyone involved to deserve better. Or so I thought. It was all a lie. She never did anything, and we kept things a secret. At first, I thought it was because it was a tough thing to say because I didn't want to hurt anyone, but I told her love is hard, life is hard. She pushed off. Still, the truth always comes out. I'm still not sure how Nathan found out, but he found out about us dating. This is not how I wanted him to find out because things turned messy quick. I wanted him to find out by us coming clean, but he found out on his own. But what I wasn't prepared for was Sarah's complete 180. She's attempting to reconcile with Nathan and has told me that she's sorry she let it get this far, but I meant nothing to her. It was just sex to her. That fucking hurt, man. I asked her if she loved me, and she said no. That she cares about me the same way she cares for any person but doesn't love me. I'm just in disbelief. Our whole relationship was a damn lie. I just don't get it. I have trust issues. Relationship with the rest of my family took a hit. My cousin and I are no longer on speaking terms. She did this because she wanted to get her rocks off? My cousin almost fought me physically over this. Luckily, calmer heads prevailed, but all this shit for her to say it meant nothing? It hurts a lot. Well, that was messy. I think they're ironically perfect for each other despite there being no actual connection. And, I don't even really know what to say in this one because this is just such like a jaw drop of just like, okay, so you were only willing to tear your entire family asunder if she was into you, and then she told you that she was into you, then you guys did nothing but dated kind of in a weird position for a year, which you were fine with and even had, the dream of finally coming clean to your cousin Nathan as if everything would be okay, and even thought, you know what, this is best for everyone involved that I take my cousin's wife. And you two fantasized about what it would be like to run off together and to leave Nathan and, all that kind of stuff. Then when the rubber met the road, she backed off, and you got a reality check. I mean, personally, if I were to tinfoil hat theory this, I would say that, Sarah just simply lied and did what she could to save face to maintain a relationship with Nathan. Don't know how that would work, but, apparently it did. Also, the nerve of him being like, well, now I have trust issues. How do you think Nathan feels, dude? Oh my god. Originally posted to r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for continuing to use minoxidil even though it's toxic to my girlfriend's cats, one of them which already succumbed? So I, 29 male, have been using minoxidil, Rogaine, for about a year now. It's the only thing that's helped my hairline from retreating faster than my will to live during Sunday brunch with my girlfriend's 26 female, 2 cats sitting on the table like they pay rent. Oh my god, I am going to be really pissed at this one, aren't I? She moved in with me about 5 months ago along with her 2 precious fur babies, Muffin and Clove. I'm not a cat person, at all. I'm allergic. They scratch the furniture, I'm constantly lint rolling my work clothes, and they've knocked over more things than I care to count, including my prized Lego Millennium Falcon. But I put up with them because I love my girlfriend. Here's where it gets rough. About a month ago, Clove started acting weird, lethargic, not eating, etc. We took her to the vet, and long story short, she didn't make it. The vet eventually asked if we had anything toxic in the house, specifically mentioned minoxidil, as extremely dangerous to cats even in small doses. Apparently, even licking a surface I touched with it, or grooming hair where it's applied, could do damage. We connected the dots, and she had a habit of rubbing against my pillow and clothes. My girlfriend was devastated. I genuinely felt awful, and I offered to pay all the vet bills and cremation costs. But here's the thing. She now expects me to stop using minoxidil entirely. Cold turkey, no discussion. Dick move on her part, really. Doesn't even listen to compromise. I told her I'd start being way more careful, washing my hands thoroughly, keeping the bottle in a sealed container, using a separate pillowcase, maybe even putting on a head wrap like I'm in a Regency-era drama. But I'm not going to stop using it. I've seen visible results. I've gained confidence, and frankly, her cats were a compromise I never wanted to begin with. She thinks I'm being selfish and chose my hair over a living creature. but I feel like I'm compromising while she's not willing to. One cat is already gone. I mean, I didn't mean for that to happen, okay? And now I'm supposed to just go bald for the other one? I suggested she find a temporary place for Muffin if she's still worried, but that apparently made me a monster. She's also threatened to poison my beta fish Bluey, which is uncalled for. Subreddit, am I the asshole? My guess would be she probably didn't threaten to poison the beta fish. She probably made a comment of, how would you feel if I accidentally poisoned your fish? Because that context makes a lot more sense. And considering that OP is making a lot of really uncalled for jokes about the cats and, them knocking shit over when he fucking killed one of them, it just really rubs me the wrong way. Also, minoxidil comes in a pill form, and it's incredibly easy to get your hands on. I would know because when I thought that I was starting to go bald and lose my hair because it's in my dad's genes, I got minoxidil. I kept forgetting to take it, and I still have a full head of hair, so I didn't really end up actually needing it. But still, it comes in a pill form. It's very easy to get your hands on. Literally takes like maybe 30 minutes through a telehealth service. But like if I was this dude's girlfriend, I'd just fucking leave him. Like seriously. Also, incredibly important PSA that I learned from this post. I was not aware that minoxidil, I hope I've been pronouncing that correctly, is incredibly toxic to animals. That was something I was entirely unaware of, but that is extremely good information to know. I really do hope that OP's girlfriend puts their animals first and gets the hell out of that apartment. Like the way that he talks about the cats in such an indifferent way, especially after killing one of them, is just gross. And she needs to get the hell out of there. Because the thing is, if Muffin passes, it falls onto her because she's the one who chose to stay in a house with someone who is unwilling to pretty much not poison her cats. I think what really upsets me the most is, yes, accidents do happen. I had no idea that minoxidil is toxic to animals, and there's a chance in another universe I could have made a mistake like that. But the fact that that mistake was made, and he just has no sympathy or remorse for his actions, that's what really bothers me about this post. Like imagine committing vehicular manslaughter in a school zone, but before you confessed, you prefaced it with, this kid didn't look both ways, he's an F- student, his parents are getting a divorce, and he thinks he owns the school. And then like admitting, by the way, turns out vehicles traveling at 40 miles an hour in a school zone, not great for a kid's spine. I know that is an absolutely extreme example, but I'm trying to put into context why this really just rubs me the wrong way. Originally posted to r/coworker stories. Mistaking female kindness for flirting. Hello, I was looking for a female's perspective on a recent experience at work. I'm a male, 49, and work in an office with a mix of older and younger female colleagues. A much younger employee, female 24, had been very kind towards me and greeted me each morning by my name and would accompany me occasionally as we walked to the same train station. I creepily took this as a sign that she was interested and suggested on lunchtime walks as I said that I noticed her walking from my seat on the bench. I believe she was weirded out by my advance as I've noticed her distancing herself from me. I realized my error as she was merely being respectful and viewed me as someone older and therefore not a threat or someone that would try to hit on her. I do find her attractive, however she's a coworker, and the way she reacted to my walk suggestion tells me I am very wrong. My question going forward is, do I apologize for my actions or just let it be and stay out of her sight? She's a great person and I enjoy the light conversation we would have, and I hope that we can just be workmates without it getting weird. How bad did I screw this up? So at first, I was really confused as to how this post made it to r/AmITheDevil, because, this just comes off as a lonely older man who's a little unfamiliar with social practices and, what could be considered normal and is asking for genuine advice. So I, at first, thought it was unfair for him to put in the Am I the Devil category. Sure, the guy was creepy and definitely not a fan of him making advances on someone half his age, but it seemed by the end of it that he realized he had made a mistake and wanted to try to recover or fix things. Now, whether or not he wanted to fix things because he wanted shot number 2 or because he genuinely wanted a second shot at a friendship with his coworker is something we will never know. Was the guy being creepy? Yeah. Is he a good example of why we have HR departments? Yeah. But was he the devil? At first I thought, no, just someone who's misguided. Oftentimes Am I the Devil will include posts that I don't agree with them being the devil in this scenario. Just someone who, fucked up and made a mistake. But then, the comments. And the guy has since actually deleted his account to scrub the serial numbers off of his posts, but he's married. Has kids. So my original idea of taking a soft, yes you are the asshole approach but not the devil, has been thoroughly pushed out the window, and is currently falling out of the 40th story of an undisclosed skyscraper. Originally posted to r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for making a joke about our safe word? I, 19 male, have a safe word with my girlfriend, 20 female. We use it exclusively for tickle fights. We don't do BDSM. She tends to say stop and no when she doesn't mean it. She enjoys being tickled to a limit, so we have a safe word for when she actually wants me to stop. Today, she used it while I was tickling her. I had her pinned down and made a joke that if I really wanted to, I could keep going. It was about 2 seconds before I actually stopped and told her I wouldn't. She knows I wouldn't actually abuse the safe word. We have a healthy relationship and I've never hesitated before. But she freaked out, saying that it was a red flag and I lost some of her trust because if I can't respect the safe word in mild situations, what does that mean for if she really needed me to stop? I reminded her that I did stop. I had no intention of carrying on. I was just trying to flirt over the control dynamic, which she enjoys. I also reminded her that I wouldn't do something in the first place if it was hurting her. She dropped the topic but is still acting weird about it. She has overthinking tendencies and I feel like she's made the situation deeper than it should have become. Neither of us have expressed interest in activities that would really warrant a safe word, so I don't really know how it's a red flag to make a flirty joke that I would never even act on. OP was fighting for his life in the original comment section on the original post because he couldn't really wrap his head around the implications of what he had just done. Whether it's BDSM or tickling, a safe word is something that should be sacred within a relationship. It is a way for you to quickly and effectively communicate with your partner that something is wrong and we need to stop right now. I am no longer comfortable with this situation. It should always be something that can be relied upon for quick and effective communication. And with the boyfriend joking about the fact that he could just ignore the safe word at any given point because he can overpower her and pin her down, and that if he really wanted to, he could just keep going. Not only does it have a lot of implications that we're not going to dive into, but by just joking about that, you shatter all trust and confidence within the safe word. Because now, anytime she's going to use the safe word, there's going to be the thought of, what if this time I say it and he's not joking? And he just keeps going. Because the problem is, joking or not, you have muddied a very important piece of communication that you two had previously established as a safe and effective way to pull away from whatever activity was currently going on and disengage safely. And by joking that at any given point, that if you felt like it, you could just continue and ignore the safe word, even if it's a joke, you shatter all of that trust that the word carries within that instance. Whether it's tickling or BDSM or any other activity that might require a safe word, that kind of essential communication is important, especially if you two took the time to properly establish that. The thing is, whether OP wants to admit it or not, by him stating, she knows I would never actually abuse the safe word, by you just joking about abusing the safe word, you have inherently abused the safe word. Now, apparently, there's actually an edit to the post that I originally missed, and this was commented by Blue Shadow 98. Blue Shadow is not the OP of the original post, they are simply just gathering the edits because the Autobot failed to before the post was deleted. Edit, I wasn't expecting the flood of comments, so I'm not going to respond to them all. I don't know why Redditors jump so quickly to abuse and trauma, which she doesn't have, and triggering. I don't know how I can be called a creep or told she would break up with me. We've been dating for 2 years and I've never broken her trust before. We've been very healthy. I made a mistake, I can see that. I also now see how I violated something serious and need to apologize and have a proper talk with her. But the hate is unwarranted. Edit 2. Some people are confused about why we have a safe word for this. I talked to her about how I have a hard time telling when she's serious and she'll say stop as a reflex, she admitted. And the safe word was her idea, simple as that. and I have always, in my actions, respected that safe word. Even with the edits, I stand by exactly what I said, and I still stand by the fact that you are having a hard time understanding the fact that you did, in fact, not respect the safe word and abuse the safe word. And yeah, I will agree that Reddit is pretty good at jumping the gun on things and definitely making a lot of assumptions. Trust me, I've had my fair share of disagreeing with Reddit, but at the end of the day, OP still violated a safe word, where its whole point is to be safe. It's certainly good that he's looking to apologize and have a proper talk with his girlfriend. That is most certainly the first step of this, and that is something that I would definitely recommend for him to do. Hopefully he can rebuild this bridge with his girlfriend, and hopefully he can understand that he did violate the safe word. Even if he claims that he didn't, or didn't violate it with his actions, he still violated it with his words. And that's the important aspect of this that he's missing. Originally posted to r/AmITheAsshole, would I be the asshole public? Would I be the asshole for telling my daughter to stop pushing for a relationship that's never gonna happen? I have 6 kids. Lizzie, 16 female, Haley, 14 female, Mark, 10 male, Jada, 9 female, Alan, 6 male, and Toby, 4 male. Lizzie and Haley are from a previous relationship, while the rest are with my current husband. When Lizzie was born, I never felt a real connection to her the way most mothers feel with their children. I couldn't explain it, but instead of love or joy, I just felt indifference. My mother told me that she felt the same when I was born, but once I was a toddler, she felt the motherly love of me she was supposed to. I waited for that, and it never happened. My whole life, I haven't felt parental love for her the way I have my other kids. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but not in the deep way a mother usually loves her kids. Ex-husband and I eventually got divorced, and I met my current husband. We expanded our family, and I have never been happier than I have with this man and my kids. Lizzie and Haley are split custody with my husband, with them usually going every other week to his house. Unfortunately, Lizzie never liked my husband. I did everything I could to get them to get along, and we even went to family therapy, but nothing worked. It's more than just a simple, "you're not my dad" kind of thing. She full-on hates him, which makes me so sad. She won't even be in the same room as him without me there, which makes him sad too. Lizzie has also defied us more as she's gotten older, and it's stressful. I don't have any problems with Haley, but Lizzie I feel is too much for our family. She loves her siblings, of course, but things are tense otherwise. Now, for the incident that led to everything falling apart. Mark had gotten suspended from school for getting into a fight with someone else. He said it was in self-defense, and I believe him, but it's still not an excuse to risk getting suspended for it. Husband and I yelling at him for it, and Lizzie stepped in and got in my face, telling me that I shouldn't talk to her brother that way. I told her to stay out of it because how my husband and I handle parenting is none of her business, but she refused to back down. My husband began arguing with her, and she told us both to go fuck off. And things got a bit out of hand. My husband stepped back and I got angry at her for mouthing off at me like that. Things are a bit hazy here, but it ended with me calling her dad and telling him to come get her. I told her to pack her necessities and that she can get the rest later. But she needs to go now. She has been living full-time at her dad's for a couple of weeks now. Things have definitely cooled off, but this made me change my perspective in some ways. Lizzie has been trying to reconcile. She doesn't have her phone, we never let her have her phone at her dad's, but my ex-husband has been keeping me in the know about it all, and she says she wants to apologize and make things right. She even wrote a letter to me asking to talk. I honestly don't think I want a relationship with her anymore. After all of this, I just don't think it's worth it. I haven't responded, but my ex-husband wants to try reconciliation and even offered to pay for family therapy. My husband agrees with me on not letting her back into my life. We'll allow her to see her siblings, but I don't want anything to do with her, honestly. Unfortunately, though, she hasn't gotten the hint and is still pushing for us to reconcile. We've had incidents like this before where she was sent to her dad's full-time for a while so we could cool off, but I think this time might be for good. The courts aren't involved in our custody, so there's no problem there, but I can't get her to stop and leave me alone. I'm planning to let her know that I don't want a relationship with her anymore and that she should let it go. Would I be the asshole if I did this? So initially in the first part while recording this, before we got to some serious red flags that I want to talk about and dissect a little bit, I kind of had a bit of a thought process of, why is it more acceptable for a child to go no contact with their parents, but not a parent going no contact with their child? As a thought experiment, this was something that popped in my head while recording this, and I wanted to kind of explore it briefly before we get into the red flags. Because what came into my mind of why it's more acceptable for a child to go no contact rather than vice versa is because normally there's a lot of circumstances surrounding the child that puts them into a position where no contact is the healthiest solution for them to lead a healthy life. While meanwhile, for a parent going no contact with a child, it's something bizarre or selfish or cruel, like, I just never felt love for them, or my responsibilities towards you ended when you turned 18. Now, of course, I'm not saying there is never a valid reason for a parent to go no contact with their child. Of course, there's going to be edge cases that'll justify it, but I thought that was something that was crossing through my mind that I found a little bit interesting that I kind of wanted to throw your guys' way to get your thoughts on it in general, discussion. Now, onto the post and some of the red flags that I noticed that I just kind of want a tinfoil hat and talk about here. I'm not going to go after the mother for not having the same kind of attachment to her child as other mothers might, because that's a very common thing that happens, and it's nothing to shame a mother over because it's something they're already going to be insecure about or have guilt over. So I'm not going to even begin to try to target that and call them the devil because they don't have that kind of attachment. But what does make me raise an eyebrow and make me uncomfortable is a few comments that was made about Lizzie not wanting to be in the same room alone with her stepdad, that she refuses various kinds of contact, that she's more than happy to be around her siblings, and hell, she's even willing to stand up for them and very clearly cares about them because she's willing to go in bad for them. Like, assuming Mark was telling the truth and it was in self-defense, and the parents believed him that it was in self-defense, why were they reprimanding him for defending himself? Was he just supposed to get the shit beat out of him? Is that what they were expecting? I mean, hell, they even yelled at Mark, by OP's own admission. They yelled at Mark for defending himself to the point where Lizzie had to step in. There's also the fact that OP just, while conflict was rising and confrontation was happening, things got hazy. Now, this is certainly probably my bias speaking here, but normally when I hear someone say things got hazy when they're talking about a confrontation they had, they're trying to hide the fact that they did something they're not proud of or took actions that they're not happy with and would rather just try to sweep that under the rug and try to push the focus back onto the person they're talking about rather than themselves. In this case, Lizzie. And I will admit that I'm doing a lot of reading between the lines here, which is why I said that this is tinfoil hat time. Because OP comes off as being an unreliable narrator, and the comment of things got a bit hazy really set that in stone for me. It really bothers me that OP admits that she and her husband were yelling at Mark so strongly that Lizzie stepped in unprompted and got in OP's face. Mark is 10, by the way. Now, what doesn't hold up in my tinfoil hat theory, and maybe someone can shed some light on this if it does actually fall in line with my tinfoil hat theory, is OP mentioning that Lizzie was so gung-ho on trying to apologize and make amends. That is incongruent with my tinfoil hat theory unless Lizzie is actually trying to get back into the picture to make sure that her siblings are safe, but at that point I'm reading between the lines, but there's also the fact that OP's an unreliable narrator, and there are a lot of missing reasons in this post. I think what really bothers me is just how defensive Lizzie is of her siblings, and she's already afraid or unwilling to be alone with her stepfather. I think that's the biggest reason why I'm reading between the lines the way that I am. Let me know what you think.
Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.